Child, here we are. Let me tell y'all. First of all, I was gonna do a whole intro, but hello, I'm Rhonda. If you're new here, hello. I am a storyteller, a creative. I love to share experiences that I have went through, that I have grown through, not because I like people in my business, no, but because I believe that we are all connected. And if we can share what we have learned through this human experience to help someone else, I'm here for it. So here we are. The camera's a little like tilted and it's driving me crazy, but we're just gonna go with it, okay? So I got my coffee, I got some lunch, but I'm not gonna eat it on camera. So let me tell y'all, this morning I went for a walk, per usual, because baby gotta be fine, okay? But I go for a walk and sometimes I listen to music, sermons, podcasts. Sometimes I walk in silence. So I started walking in silence and I was meditating and praying, and I'm like, God, show me how good it can get. Like, that has been my mantra recently, because it just feels so good. Like, God, show me how good it can get. That just feels like abundance. It just feels like abundance. Ooh. So I'm walking, and as soon as I get in the car, y'all, and I know this is what y'all are here for, because y'all probably did not expect this from me, but it's been a long time coming. A long time meaning at least over a year. I won't say 2 years. I've wanted to share, but you know. So I get in the car and I get like this nudge, and just the thought came. God, Spirit was like, tell this story. Tell this particular story today. And I'm like, I had no plans on telling this story today. But here we are. So this is the story all about how my life, okay? How I ended up in a poly-ish relationship. I will never say, and I have never said to anyone, I don't know how it happened. Like, I don't know how I got here, because I do. I was of sound mind when I entered into my relationship. So here we go. Let me take a sip, y'all. I'm really about to tell this story. Here we are. Oh, this coffee is so good. Because I'm telling this because there are key points. There are gems and lessons to be learned from what I did that may be cliche. You may have heard it before, but you may need to hear it in this way, okay? So let's start at the top. Okay, so I moved back to Chicago for the second time. Love me some Chicago. I moved back to Chicago and I finally got settled in. And interesting how this happened. I was getting to know someone, but she lived out of state. And she hit me up and was like, hey, did you see this event was happening? I really hope y'all can't hear my earring. I think you can. I hope not. But she said, hey, did you hear about this event happening? I think you would like it. I think you should check it out. So it was for Unique, the woman who created Because We Can, and Culture Tags. She had this dream. I don't think it was Dreamville. Oh my gosh, this was 2018, so I can't remember. But basically, she created this bus. It was like a dream lab type situation. And she was having a panel discussion. So I took off work. I went. It was like a day like event thing type thing, and it was cool. Like so many people were talking. I got to see some people that I had seen or met on the internet. I got to see them in person. So I was by myself. One of my friends, she's now like a you don't say gooder. I knew her, but now like we're closer. But I think she was speaking on a panel. So like I was by myself. So y'all, I'm just gonna take this earring out, okay? Like, it's not really my jam not to have an earring on, but I'm afraid like it's picking up that rattle. Just bear with me. So I'm at this event by myself. I go to get lunch, and this woman, I come and sit down, I pass this woman, and she's like, oh, did you get me something to eat? Or like, how was the lunch? Like, she asked me about the lunch. And I was like, I haven't tasted it yet, but if you want to order, I would do it now because it took a very long time. I remember this. Oh my God, I remember this. Yeah, I be remembering. This was 2018. So, let me just say 2018, it does not seem that long ago, but it feels like it was a very long time ago. Okay. Like we have all lived many lives since then. So, she was like, oh, okay, whatever. So, and I remember when her and I started dating, she was like, remember you didn't even offer me any of your food? I was like, girl, I was hungry, please. So we go and sit down, and somehow she ended up sitting next to me, and she said, oh, I have to leave early. Let's exchange contact information. But it was actually Instagram. So we exchanged Instagram, whatever. Now I don't really recall how we went. So either, I don't know if I DM'd her or if she DM'd me. I don't know. But I know that she gave me her Instagram, and she was not on Instagram like that. But anyway, maybe like a week passed or something, we connected, and then we had our first date. And like when people say, as cliche as it is, we were like inseparable after that. Like that is like really real. That's also why I'm still like a hopeful romantic, because I have experienced bits and pieces of what you think is like this fairy tale, and it's not. Like we were inseparable. So the thing about us is that we both lived in the city of Chicago. If you've never been to Chicago, it's very spread out, okay? So I lived on the way north side. She lived south. Now, that's a very, very like it's a big difference. And neither one of us drove, because you're in Chicago, you don't need your car, whatever. Or you don't need a car. I mean, public transportation, that's one thing I do miss. So anyway, we started dating, we started seeing each other, all that. So this is where the gems start, y'all. So please, this is how easily you get yourself roped into some shit, and then you're like, how did I get here? Okay. I will say, I as a whole, my first statement of like, how did this happen? That rings true. However, one day you wake up and you're like, oh God, like, what is my life? Okay. So she was a few years older than me. And I will say sometimes, depending on the person, their maturity level is a little bit mature, right? In certain aspects, she did have that. But she was a great communicator. Like, she really was. So, and as we start like feeling each other, like, you know, this could be something, okay? Like, I was spending a lot of time over there, because what sis was not doing was traveling back and forth every single day. I tried that, and it was a lot. So anyway, so in as we like get into it, in one of our like first serious conversations, when we realized like, you know what, I like you, and she's like, I like you too, and I'm like, I know. That's what gets you when you like, I know. She told me that she was interested in having 2 partners. And I was like, I am not. I'm a one woman type woman, okay? Like, I don't want to share. I don't want to be shared. None of that. We both made it very clear. Let me just say, we both made it very clear. If I knew how to edit, I would zoom in on that, okay? I would project that. We made it clear. This is what she wanted, and this is what I wanted. At that point, this is where you take notes, y'all. At that point, we should have been like, this has been fun for what it's been, but we cannot move forward in like a romantic, committed relationship. We should, that's what it should have been. That's not what it was. That's not what happened. You know why? I cannot speak for her, but this is what I can speak for myself. And I feel like we both had this same underlining thought. She will change. I know for myself, that's what I thought. I said, child, I'm more than 2 people, okay? Like, I am a lot. I know that. I'm a lot. So there is no way that once we're together, she's going to want or feel like she needs someone else, okay? She's not. And I do feel like she knew, or she felt the same way. Like she would razzle dazzle me. She would take care of home and all of these things, and I would give in. So we decide to keep talking. We decide to get serious. And I will always say to her, like, she was always honest. And I will always respect her for that. You know, even though I was honest, I was wavering because this is what happened. So once she told me that's what she wanted, and I was like, that ain't what I want. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this won't be so bad, right? Maybe. So I said, I have never done this before. And at this point in our it was early on, kind of, but I felt like I could trust her. I just had this feeling. And I was like, you know what? I have never done this. What the hell? I can't say I don't like it if I haven't tried it. And I said, this is what I will say. I will do this. I will say yes to this relationship. However, at any point, if it does not feel good to me, if this is not something that like I actually don't want, I'm out. But hell, we only live once. Like, let's see what this experience could lead to. Because in that moment, I remember, and I can still feel it, I didn't feel bad. Like, I felt uncomfortable because it's something I have never did before. But also keep in mind, like, we weren't out seeking someone else. Like, that wasn't on the radar. It wasn't on mine. Because in the back of my mind, y'all, I'm still thinking, she gonna change. Like, that, whatever. Like, this, she might just think she wants, like, another partner, but no. So, things were great. You know why things were great, y'all? And this is why I say a poly-ish. There's many reasons why I say this. Because it ended up, her and I were just in a relationship for 9, almost 10 months. Like, just her and I. How I wanted it, okay? And everything I felt was good until she started getting this little itch. And I was like, what is happening? Right? Because I felt like we in this thing now. Like we are living, we are building a life. Like things are good. What else could you possibly need? And she started like behind my back seeking out other women. And me, I am a very observant person. I'm very attentive. So when you start changing up little things in your routines or how you're acting, if you're a little bit more closed off than normal, I know something's up. Like, what's up? And so that's when she was like, she wants another partner. She told me. Y'all, I was like, what? What? And the thing is that she did tell me. And so when I'm thinking like, why am I telling this story talking about this damn poly relationship? It's because you know what you need, right? Or what you want, what you desire. And when you are honest with yourself, don't go back on that. Like, stay in your truth. Like, this is good, but when you stay true to yourself, something else is better. Like, something else is for you. This relationship was not for me in this way. But now, I felt like I was in too deep. Like, what do I do? Right? I said, yeah. See, here's also the thing is that I felt like once she got her itch, so it was never me. Like, I never wanted another partner ever. But when the conversation did come up about me having or possibly dating, it was like, what? Yeah, that's how it is, y'all. People want their cake and to eat their cake alone or on their terms. But when you start eating your cake or getting your cake, another type of cake, expanding your palate, oh, that's when it's like, whoa, let's call it off. So anyway, so as we're like in this thing, because we are like almost coming up to a year being together, exclusively together, she gets this itch, and she had an ex, I think they were ex, I think they were together, that was coming in town. They were still in contact, which that's a whole nother thing of like dealing with ego and all of that. But the girl had never disrespected me. So my girlfriend at the time said, hey, let's call her Tracy. Tracy's coming in town, you know, like let's have her stay here and see what it feels like to have a third person. This is crazy. Because I don't think some of my friends even know this, but here we are. Let's have Tracy like stay with us to see like the dynamic with having another woman. So in my mind, I'm like, the fuck? Like, now you talking about somebody living with us? What's happening? So I was at work and she called me and I was like, no, pissed. But then I sat and thought, because I am a very reflective person. Those that know me know I will sit, I will reflect, and what I'm working on is not reacting, like saying no immediately. But you know what? Let me table this. Let me get back to you. But because of that circumstance, I wasn't trying to hear nothing. So I was like, no, But then I thought about it and I was like, why not? Because once again, this is my house. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm not leaving my house. Like, oh, girl gonna have to leave. When I tell y'all, that was the best experience of that whole poly-ish relationship, okay? Now, it was the best, and I felt like it set me up for failure. No, not failure, y'all. It wasn't a fail. It just was not for me. So Tracy comes in town. We meet, we have dinner. She comes back to the house. She's very sensual. She's very attentive. And I still don't know if honestly she was giving what she was giving because she was a guest in my house. But either way, she was so sweet. She was so nice. There was nothing sexual that happened. It was just this feeling of comfort, of ease. And I was like, is this what it's like? Because if it is, I might be down for this. I might. Because the more that, so I didn't give this disclaimer or backstory. I have never experienced a poly relationship in any form, okay, before this. Never been on my radar. I've never been interested. I know, you know, that's just not my life. Like, if it's yours, cool. So this was my first introduction. I don't think my first introduction was the most positive, just because of the parties involved and the way that things like played out. But I do think that it is individual. Like, every poly relationship situation is not the same. I just know what my experience was, and it was not for me. So, but this particular, when Tracy came in town, I was like, okay. Because I then started thinking about the community aspect of family that, you know, and my ex, now that's a storyteller, y'all. She is a storyteller. So I started thinking about the community aspect, the family, the, you know, just all this love. And what Tracy was exhibiting, I was like, okay, Trace, you want to stay? Like, do you want to move in? So that was good. But that set the standard for the feeling I wanted to feel, the experience, if I was going to be in this. And what I got after that was not that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because let me tell you, this shit it's very traumatic when it's not, I think, here we go. It was traumatic in a way because you are not only dealing with you're dealing with your feelings, you're dealing with the feelings of your partner, and then there's someone else. But for me, because it wasn't a type of relationship where it was like a circle, I guess. It was kind of more like a triangle, like my partner's here, me, which I ain't like that either. It was just a lot of feelings and emotions that had nothing to do with me, but I was getting the short end of the stick because so when Tracy came and went. She was, you know, she was doing her own thing. Like, she was not a potential, like, trying to be in a relationship with my ex. And I guess honestly, it is a relationship with me too. No matter how I want to put it, what I want to say, like, it is what it is. So after that, my ex ended up talking or reconnecting with, like, what do you want to call it? Like, this woman that she had been, like, loving for years. That is so wild. And I was like, at this point, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, what the fuck? Like, is happening? So, and this is when I started to get uncomfortable. This is when I was like, this ain't working, because she reconnected with this woman, and listen, the woman didn't live in state. I'm gonna call her, I don't have to call her name. She did not live in state. My ex was so in love with this woman, and I think I should just stop this here, because now I'm like, what the fuck? When I'm like thinking about this, I'm gonna tell y'all. Now I'm getting uncomfortable because I'm thinking about this, because this is a part of this story time of, do not go against yourself. Like, do not, because you have to live in your body. You have to live with yourself. You can love someone and let them go. And when she reconnected, I knew she was in love with this woman. And then she told the woman about me. And then, y'all, I'm at work. Like, actually, that was my corporate job. I love that job, by the way. And I opened up this email. Both of us, it was like a Google Doc attachment with this woman. So I actually met this woman through a letter that my ex had written us, detailing her love for her, detailing her love for me, how she thinks that this can work. And I was like, my God. Y'all, me and the woman, once again, we ended up talking on the phone, and we started texting, and we both were like, this is weird. Like, she had never experienced anything like this. I never experienced anything like this. So we both were like, what's happening? The woman was really cool. And at some point during a conversation, I had just got very overwhelmed and I shut down. And after that, I still to this day don't know what happened, but her and my ex stopped communicating. Like, she cut it off, and my ex was so hurt. And this is why I said you have to deal with your feelings, your partner's feelings, and then there's someone else. And for me, I just felt like it was not fair, because I didn't do anything. Like, I am your girlfriend. I am your partner. I am here. Like, you are with me. Like, I don't want to say loyalty, but it was like, that's when I really was like, what is happening? Because my ex secluded herself. She didn't want to talk to me. Like, I just don't know. And I felt like she felt like her world was imploding. Like, what she thought, how this whole thing was going to be beautiful and rainbows and shit, it was not. And it was really because I feel like she had these expectations that were not realistic for the type of life she wanted to live. So I'm dealing with this. Then it was like, she was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, you know, I'm happy with you. And that was the thing, like, she was never unhappy with me. She made that clear. She just wanted something else. So the last straw, and I will say that the women that she brought around me, and it was only two, but, well, the one I didn't meet because Tracy was a friend, a tester, okay? But she was so sweet. The woman, I didn't physically meet her, but she was respectful. She was nice. And the second woman, very nice. Like, that was the thing. Like, in any other situation outside of this last woman, that I know of, her and I would have been friends. We would have been friends, because she was so sweet and caring and loving. But it was just the situation, and I will say because I'm not even going to that whole thing, but the story time with this poly-ish is I really want to wrap it up and say, y'all, you know what's for you and you know what's not for you. We have to stop going against ourselves, thinking someone else knows us better, someone else can love us better, someone else can do everything to like fulfill what we are seeking within ourselves better than we can. You know, and when you do make a promise to yourself, don't break that. Like my promise was, when this no longer felt good to me, I'm out. Like, I love you, but I love me more. And I will say I did get to that point, but it took time, and it is different when you're in the situation. It is, you know, you can be watching this and be writing down, like, listen to yourself, girl, you know, say what you want and don't go back on that. You know, you have your standards, stick by that. You can love someone and let them go. When a person tells you who they are, believe them. Don't think, the biggest thing of this is don't think that you can change someone, because she couldn't change me and I couldn't change her. No matter how amazing and wonderful I think that I am and I was to her, you can't change someone, right? And I did eventually, because there was one last situation that happened around this whole ecosystem that I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't live like this anymore. I'm uncomfortable. I felt like there was a lack of respect. It really came to a lack of respect. And here's the thing, is there were so many times I wanted to pick up the phone and call this other woman, but I'm like, why? Who you're with, the person who is actually with you, who is loyal to you, should be, that's who you address, right? So it was a very, very interesting, and that itself was interesting, not picking up the phone and calling the other woman and being like, girl, what the fuck? Like, why are you, that was a growing thing, because the person that you needed to check was the person that you're with. And so that was an experience, okay? That I can't say I would never do again, because I got myself mixed up in something else. It looked completely different, but the root of it, once again, was stop going against yourself. Stop. Like, so if you can take anything away from me from this little story time, this poly situation, it's that, listen, like, actually listen to yourself. Feel yourself. When you have to make these decisions, when old girl was like, she wants 2 partners, and I was like, that's your sign. That is your sign, okay? So I hope that y'all enjoyed this story time. If you have any questions, comment below. Be sure to subscribe. I can't believe I told this story. So interesting, so interesting to have lived through that. And when I say through it. So I will see y'all next time. Story time. There won't be a part 2 to this, because the other situation I kind of refuse to speak on. It was disgusting, just the people involved, period. But this particular one, yeah. So anyway, I will talk to y'all soon. Hope you enjoyed. Crazy. Y'all have lived. I have lived. Bye, y'all.